Disclaimer: the following Boundless PodTrap episode contains strong opinions that some listeners may and will find offensive. If you cannot accept or respect others with a differing opinion from yours, then fuck off.
I like turtles.
Shush! Oh, righty. Let me see your war face.
Now, y'all ain't planning on fucking these chickens, are you?
Picture it. Sicily, 1920.
Aren't we fucking funny?
Streaming from the Midwest, right in the middle of the U.S. From Omaha, Nebraska, you're listening to the Boundless PodTrap, your entertainment podcast, where we touch on all topics, from the crazy and absurd to the sacred and profane, and even the useless and unnecessary. The Boundless PodTrap knows no bounds. And now, here are your hosts.
What the beep is going on? We can cuss on this one, can't we?
Why didn't you say fuck? That's okay.
I didn't know.
I said it in the goddamn intro.
I didn't even know what that word means.
I said, what the?
See, when a mother bird and a father bird get together, they do this thing and eggs pop out. That's how we celebrate Easter.
I'm offended.
Why would you
I'm
even bring
offended
that
by
up?
the fact I've told you multiple times to turn my headphones down, and my left ear is bleeding.
Oh, well, your lever is all the way to the side. I thought it was down. Are you number 3?
Yes, sir.
I wasn't listening.
That was, yeah, it was funny. You popped your earpiece out real quick.
Well, that's a good start to episode 2.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Do it live.
We're gonna let him start signing. We'll have to speak for him for after a while. I can't hear you. So what's going on, people? How you guys been? It's been a while. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah,
exactly.
It has been 2 weeks.
Happy Monday, guys. It's Thursday for us, but happy Monday.
I thought you were going to say happy Mother's Day, but happy Father's Day, guys. Happy Father's Day a day late, I guess.
I'm trying to keep my time warping in check here. Father's Day is coming up?
It's just Sunday.
Sweet. We're going to do nothing. I'm probably going to try to teach my niece how to drive or crash.
Really?
Yeah, we'll see.
I would do the same thing, but my niece just turned 4 the other day, so I think that might be illegal.
You can start them early.
Yeah, that's true. Is your son Moxley going to buy you a Father's Day present?
I think he already had. I picked it up when it came in from Amazon, but I did not look at it, so.
What kind of job does he do where he makes money to buy you stuff already?
He is fucking adorable. That's what he does. He is the next thing to a Gerber baby. And I don't know where that came from, because I am ugly as fuck.
Aw. Don't be like that.
I'm sure there's probably not going to be such a thing as a Gerber baby anymore since they're getting rid of all these brands that have been around for a while.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a white Gerber baby anymore.
They need to be generic, like a robot type of, just raceless, sexless. What else is all the rage?
Anything.
True. Is ageless?
Discriminate against
That's
age.
probably, yeah. That's ageism.
Not enough facial hair on that baby.
I didn't say jism. I said ageism.
Ageism.
Okay, you got me there.
That's what I heard.
I've been a lot busy at work. Work's been pretty crazy. When you work in retail, people are dying to go out. It sucks because it doesn't suck. I mean, my work is requiring customers and employees, they have to wear masks to enter the building, which I 100% agree with because numbers are going up and things are not better at all. But I'm at the front of the line and have to deal with everybody. So I'm the one that's getting yelled at because of this whole COVID thing. And I'm the one that makes the rules. And what did that say? Is that Farouk? Damn. Thanks, Farouk. But yeah, it makes for long days. I mean, there are a lot of nice customers, but for every 99 nice customers, there's one customer that just has to tell you off, and it it ruins your day.
Isn't it amazing that one asshole can ruin an amazing day?
Absolutely. It's because, and that, I mean, that's, part of the thing, like the news focuses more on the negatives in the world and not so much the positives, because people really don't care about the positives.
No.
But it's just like, you focus on the negatives, and I try not to do it, but some of the things these people say, I'm like, wow, like I would never in a million years go to a retail store and cuss out a cashier for problems in this world.
Is it really that bad?
Oh yeah, there's.
I mean, like, what are they bitching you about to you?
I have a lot of people tell me that this store is fucking stupid because this whole COVID thing is made up, and it's just like, I've been telling them, like, yeah, tell that to my friend's father who got it, and tell it to my other friend who lost their father and mother because they had COVID and stuff like that.
That's a coincidence. My dad got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's real. Like, that's what I don't understand.
That's
it's
so
just
strange.
like
My friend's dad got it too.
But it's to me, it's like, if you're in that much denial that there's that this virus is made up, then you need to just walk into oncoming traffic, because you are an issue in this world. And
I've had a few people I've talked to at my work who are like, man, it's been this long, we might as well just go without the masks. I'm like, but that's still kind of protecting.
Do people look at the numbers?
Say, the masks aren't to protect you. The masks are to protect me from you.
Yeah,
that too. Or if you have it, you can't spread it as available. I mean, without a blockage.
I had an old lady tell me, because I had a cotton mask. You guys saw the picture of me with the bearded mask. It looks like it was made for me. And she's just like, is that made of cotton? And I was just like, yes, it is. And she's like, that's what bed sheets are made out of. And she's just like, she said something along the lines of like, when you fart, it seeps through. And I'm like, what? And she's
I made
like,
that same exact comment a couple of weeks ago on the Now the Final Word. Yeah.
So she's like basically saying that when I'm talking through my mask, I am farting out of my mouth, and it's going through your mouth.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah. Well,
so when you
like
fart,
80.
you're not like getting fecal matter on people. It's in your cotton, in your undies.
Well, she has this whole theory that we're basically wearing bed sheets on our face, and I don't know how the fart got into the whole topic.
Isn't that why we're in another big protest and wars right now? Because there's some douchebags wearing bed sheets on their heads too.
It's like, this is an Egyptian 1,000 count thread.
Those are the biggest douchebags.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, that's my situation right now with work is
nice.
Just dealing with.
I've had a few customers I've had to deal with the last like few weeks. They always. So one of my biggest. I was going to say queeves. Peeves. Qualms.
Queeves.
Qualms and peeves together are queeves.
Queeves.
Yeah. So it's like when somebody receives a package or something that's not theirs and I have to retrieve it, and like not even 20 minutes later, which just happened the other day, I'm knocking on the door and I'm like, hey, was there a package that was put in your box by accident? And they're like, yeah, I opened it because I thought it was mine. It's like, no, the fuck you didn't. So you saw the name and you wanted to know what's in the package.
Can I just pause you for a second? Did you just say a package put in your box?
Yes.
Okay. I'm all caught up.
Yeah.
Stop it, Lonnie.
Well,
Quit eating those Doritos.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
I was going to switch gears. I've also had my in-laws in town. They were staying at my cradle. It's a cradle because it rocks, not a crib.
Do you have a cricket sound effect on that?
or like the Roadrunner sound of him falling.
Boring. That works too. Yeah. How long were they there for?
Oh, they came in last Thursday. Today is Monday for you guys, but it's Thursday for us guys. You guys as in the listeners, us guys as in the hostesses. Hostesses, that sounds good right now. I'm on a diet.
Hostesses? Oh, I thought you were talking about like females, like people at restaurants. Yeah. Because that sounds good too. So yeah, they
were in town. They took up my little entertainment area. So researching things for this podcast or which, I mean, we've have a few things lined up here in the next 20 minutes to hour or so. So stay tuned.
So you had to research in the middle of the night when they're sleeping in your underwear down there?
Well, that's the only way I research.
In the underwear, just sitting on his leg. He's not wearing them.
Oh, I know.
My father-in-law's like, God damn it. Whacking off of my shirt.
Your father-in-law is the guy from King of the Hill. What's his Frank Hill? Is that his name?
Hank?
Hank.
Damn it, Bobby.
That's what it sounds like.
Whacking my tool.
That's the Beavis and Butthead neighbor.
Damn it, Beavis in my head. Do you like your in-laws?
They're like, I have to reference a Mitch Hedberg joke.
That's a lot of no. That's
They're
a lot
They're
of
like
words to get to
sidestep
know.
that.
They're like pancakes. They're all exciting at first, but by the end, you're kind of sick. Nah, I can't say I'm sick of it.
Wow.
It's like, so my father-in-law, he's he weighs heavy on the sarcasm, like all, which is like a good sense of humor and stuff, but it's like, dude, all right, no, and like he'll agree with you, but he'll make it so it's like a disagreement. Like he always wants to try to start an argument. I'm like, dude, we're saying the same thing. He's like, no, you're saying this. I'm like, no, this is, It's like I try to draw like a logical conclusion, and he's like, nope, that's not what you said. I'm like, that's exactly what I said. Rewind it back.
Sounds to me like he didn't want you to marry his daughter. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, probably. And then my mother-in-law, like I'll go to work for the day and then I'll come back and my kitchen's like rearranged. I'm like, where the fuck is the the soy sauce? She's like, oh, I put it in the cabinet over there.
What? Is that really how she sounds?
Well, she's from the Philippines, so she's like, it's easier to reach. It's over there. But that kind of
talking to her daughter. Why you know that what girl? Look the what girl? Why you know doctor?
I'm assuming they're never going to listen to this podcast.
My father-in-law will probably be like, oh, probably not. He has no need to change his stream of entertainment. It's always got to be like NBC, CNN, whatever. Just watch the news.
Skinamax.
I don't know if he's. I think.
Is that still a thing?
Skinamax?
Yeah.
I mean, like.
Was that even a thing, or was that made up? I don't know. I was never.
I think it was just anything past 10 o'clock.
Because I was never.
Is that what we referenced it, or was that the title? Because I remember always saying Skinamax, but I don't think I've ever saw it.
I don't think it was like a certified title. It was just like it was a running thing, like how it's not technically called Target. We just call it Target.
That's how it's spelled.
I've never called it Target.
Because you can afford to shop there.
It's not really. I buy like $5 DVDs there. That's it.
Buy music.
See,
albums.
he didn't say DVD. He said DVDs, which
With an S.
instantly.
Yeah,
means
you can buy
shop
multiples.
there.
Oh, look at you with the big money. Look at you.
Big money.
I've got a big collection, ladies.
All right, I think we've offended enough people in this segment. What do we got up?
We're just getting started.
What do we got up first, fellas?
Well, all right. Pick either one or two. One of two things. I have a bag here with some stuff, or we have a topic that we can move into.
I thought we were doing the.
Hold on. One or two.
We gotta go with number 2.
You two?
Sure.
All right. Well, because if you were going to pick this, the same one, we all have to agree to do the same thing. So number 1 was going to be in-home quasi-castration, but 2 was going to be a different topic that we probably researched on. So
cool.
So we can save the quasi-castration, just half a ball.
Like Paco?
Like Paco.
He's
Jesus.
after his little incident. This was a mistake having Justin take the lead on this episode.
What?
He's got a lot of freaking sound effects on his phone.
He's got some energy tonight.
He does. That's good. He's not sleeping like
I thought
last
he
time.
worked all day. I thought he'd be
All right.
tired out.
So what's 2?
What is 2?
2 is our new segment that we're going to move into.
This
We're
is
going to try
episode 2. Fucking everything's new.
This is true. I like the way you think. So we're going to move into Marry, fuck, kill. There we go. That was probably screeching loud.
That was. We're sorry for everybody that can't hear us right now. We're gonna wait for your hearing to get back to normal.
It's fuck, marry, kill.
Try to.
There you go. It's not. You can hear it when it's not so loud.
People are like pulling their earbuds out of their ears right now.
Didn't even know.
It's like, why are you bleeding?
All right, marry, fuck, kill. That sounds interesting.
Well, since you picked it, go ahead and
Don't put this on me.
So explain to those that wouldn't quite understand what marry, fuck, kill is.
Marry, fuck, kill is, I don't even know how to play the game.
Do I need to explain it?
One person that you want to marry and then fucking
So basically, we're each going to pick 3 people.
Oh, that's how it. 3 people.
And then you give those 3 people, and then the other 2 are going to say which one they would marry, which one they would fuck, and which one they would kill.
Keep explaining. I got to send something over here to Lonnie to throw up.
Okay, I just explained it, but I guess I'm going to keep explaining it. So, again,
seems like a decent.
I'm going to, for those of you that aren't catching what we're talking about here, I'm going to pick 3, preferably celebrities that everybody knows. And Lonnie is going to take a turn picking which one he would marry, which one he would fuck, and which one he would kill, and explain why. And then once he's done, Justin will do the same thing. And then Justin will give me and Lonnie 3 people, and so on and so forth. So, yeah. I mean, I got one already. If you guys want me to start this, or
I got it.
You got it?
I got it.
Oh God.
So
I can only
for
imagine.
us, we're going to pull some pictures up so you guys can't see, but most of you are going to know the person or people that I'm talking about.
Mine definitely don't need their pictures brought up. Everybody knows them.
Everybody knows these, so it's up to you if you want to pull it up.
Ray Romano,
Sir Lonnie.
All right.
I like when you host, because like when you introduce us, you'd be like, we got Justin, me, Lonnie.
I always put your name first.
Justin, me, Lonnie. Nice.
Oh, I get it. Wow, that's crazy. That's really weird. I didn't even think about that.
Because you, dummy.
So crazy. Okay, so let's get your 3 people. I probably will not know a single one on your list.
You do.
Okay.
So, number 1, Ursula.
Okay.
We're talking about Ursula from the sea. The
Not the Queen Latifah in the live version.
not so much. We're talking about the deep sea scream queen. She wants control of it all and is willing to do anything to make it happen, including feeding King Triton's daughter Ariel with the desire of a happily ever after, tricking her to forfeit her soul, voice, and fins to spread her legs for a landwalker, who Ursula also attempts to steal away. She even gains dominion over the ocean with her foul doings. This babe is stricken with desire and not enough tentacles of control for her own good. Plus side, she is a squid, so we know she's a squirter. So there's that.
Lonnie's pulling up some pictures of sexy Ursula. That version looks like
Pink?
the Russian's wife in Rocky IV.
I can see that.
There's Pink. Okay, so Ursula's the first one. That's very sexy sounding.
You guys licking your lips?
You like really went all out with like this. Like, this is crazy. Like, mine's just going to be like, here's 3 names.
Okay.
Who next?
Runner up. Let's see. Number 2. Cruella DeVille. Cruella DeVille, a rich and spoiled bitch, relished in Dalmatian fur coats. You may be able to look past these, but she's got a few bad habits, such as chain smoking, flaunts her riches, and kidnaps and murders puppies. Other than that, she's great at parties and quite possibly after parties, where I feel it might be safe that she hosts as a furry. So,
all right, Cruella DeVille is number 2. Okay.
I just realized I'm on my regular account. All these are being popped up.
I see your theme. I see your theme here, Justin. I'm betting you the next one's Robin Williams.
Fuck. Stop reading my paper.
Okay.
All right. And the last one, Lady Tremaine. She's commonly known as the wicked stepmother of Cinderella. Anyone can see that Lady Tremaine married in for the money, but whatever happened to Cinderella's pops after they got married? Huh? I mean, how did he die? Any thoughts on that? No? All right. Well, it might seem obvious. She's keen on child labor, or at least that those of who are not her actual children. When Cinderella is called out as a possible courtee for the prince, Lady Tremaine locks her away. You know, good on thee. She's a fabulous mother of her own 2 girls, so that makes up for that. But she doesn't seem to share everything with her daughters. She does seem to share everything with her daughters, if you know what I mean. So there's a plus side to that if you're into that.
And that's Lady
Tremaine.
How do you spell that last name?
Tremaine. Just wicked stepmother.
Oh, okay.
See, now that's more your liking.
Are you looking at me when you say that?
I am.
I mean, what are their ages? Ursula, how old is Ursula?
Ursula, I mean, well, she's an underwater person, and they can be ageless. Are you more
definitely moist?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think I have mine down of my answers for this. You care if I go, Lonnie?
Go for it, sir.
Okay, so the person I would marry would probably be Cruella de Vil.
Why?
Well, she wears like what's that called?
Fur?
The fur, but it's like mink or something like that. So that tells you right there she has money.
Right.
So I'm going to marry her only because she has money.
Damn it.
Is that you're going to be your reason too? I'd probably fuck Ursula, which means I would kill Lady Tremaine because she's old and I could probably get some inheritance from her.
Man, you.
All right. So there's my reasoning and who I go with. So Lonnie, you're up with yours.
All right. I would marry Cruella for the same exact reason Jeremy said. It's all about that money. And, she has the servant following her around the whole time. She's driving in the fancy car.
As in, like, oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I would fuck Lady Tremaine because she's so loyal with those daughters. They'll do anything for you. So there's a really good chance.
That's probably a package deal.
Yeah.
So
there's a really good chance for a 4G.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Yeah.
Good one. Yeah. That's good.
And I would kill Ursula because that leads into aerial sex. When you kill off mom, who is a villain, you can go up the daughter and be like, hey, you owe me now.
You can do that to any one of them. If you do that to the one you picked to married, you have 101 chances.
You could fuck Flounder.
But you could kill Cruella de Vil and fuck her male servant too. He probably hates working for her, so he'd probably pay you somehow.
I mean, you're married to her. He's your servant too.
So basically, you're only using these ladies to get to younger, like family members of theirs.
Haven't you ever watched porn?
Riches?
I never saw Skinamax. So.
That's what this is all about.
Okay. All right. So that was interesting. I didn't think you were going to go that route with cartoons.
Why do you?
I thought you were going to do like Bruce Lee and.
Why would I make you fuck Bruce Lee?
Who doesn't want to fuck Bruce Lee?
Me. Yeah. Hey, real quick. What's Bruce Lee's favorite drink?
What?
All right. All right, Lonnie, do you want me to go next?
It's up to you, pal.
Who's lining up?
Okay,
Jeremy.
I'll go next.
Journey, you're lining up. Go.
So, let me ask you guys this. You guys were fans of the 90s, right? A fan
Yes.
of the 90s?
I lived there.
You did?
Yeah.
So did I.
Nice.
Might have seen you at some point. But, so, I'm going with, I honestly, I thought you were going to go a route with like picking like the most ugliest people. So I thought I'd go another route and actually pick 3 very attractive people here.
Right. Where's my pen?
Okay. So the first one on my list is Britney Spears.
Wow.
And this is Britney Spears. Keep in mind, these are the 90s versions of them.
Okay.
So this is like back when they were prime.
When she doesn't have a shaved
before
head.
the shaved head.
I thought the shaved head was sexy.
You would.
Well, this is before that. This is innocent.
You're
Britney Spears.
I'm not that innocent.
So yeah.
Not that innocent.
So Britney.
Oh, baby.
It's Britney, bitch. So
Leave Britney alone.
Britney Spears is your first one.
All right.
Christina Aguilera
Ooh.
is the second one, and this is the Genie in the Bottle one.
Please say Mandy Moore.
No, Mandy Moore is not the next one.
Are you talking Avril?
No,
Fuck.
because I knew you would go instantly to
Like
her.
all of them. Marry, fuck, kill her so I could reanimate her. Fuck her again.
So you got Britney Spears, you got Christina Aguilera, and the last one you have is Jessica Simpson. So yeah,
This is a good one.
And Jessica Simpson, this is again when she first came out. This is like around the time when she was with Nick Lachey and stuff like that. So, and she might have been, I don't know if Jessica Simpson might have been early 2000s when she came out, but close enough to the 90s. So you got Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Jessica Simpson. You guys are both writing your notes.
I see.
So what you guys are thinking about that? Lonnie, are you ready?
done, yeah.
Okay,
I feel like-
Lonnie.
I feel like, I don't know. Are we going to have the same answers? I think so.
There's a good chance of it.
All right.
So I did this like I'm a time traveler, and I'm looking at him now. I said kill Jessica Simpson because even then you could tell she was going to be batshit crazy.
Okay.
So you knew she was going to be a mess.
I'm with that.
So kill her off now. Marry Christina Aguilera because you knew even then she had a good head on her shoulder. She was good with her money. She was smart. She was sexy. And she was someone you could put your money into, and you can see that now.
And she's a genie in a bottle, so you get 3 wishes from her.
Hell yeah. And
You rep it the right way.
and fuck Britney because they always say that crazy fucks the best. And if anything shows getting in the time machine and coming now over that stretch of time, whoo, buddy.
So you're killing Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson marrying Christina Aguilera and fucking Britney.
Okay. All right. Was that yours?
That wasn't.
All right.
I was with him until the beginning, and then after that, it just went all downhill. You know.
When he started talking, it was over.
I would also say kill Simpson because, well, she is just kind of crazy. She was a deadhead type of thing.
I think there was a lot of acting, though. I don't think she was as stupid as she led everybody
I
to
also believe some of her strategic decisions further on were accidental. So that was probably just people, speaking in her ear to
she
do
had
some stuff.
She had a lot of good people in her camp.
Yeah. And then, I mean, like,
Still look what it got her.
look at Ashley Simpson, and both of them were, they were quite the handful. I would say fuck Christina Aguilera because she has a little bit more spice to her. I guess if we're going off of the 90s, I can't really pull the whole, like the crazy music video in effect or into factor this, but
I've pulled a lot to the crazy music video.
you too.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, Christina Aguilera is a listener of the Boundless PodTrap.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
I would totally.
Being a fan. I'm a big fan too.
And then I would marry Britney Spears because she seems a little bit more loyal. Look how much of a douchebag Kevin Federline? I don't know. He was like, he just pretty much, smacked her around and, she stayed with him. So she's loyal.
But I don't know about that.
But I want to say she probably had more money.
She smacked around Justin Timberlake.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's what Cry Me a River is about. That he did. It's about her. So, all right, very interesting, guys. So, sorry, Jessica Simpson. Nobody likes you, I guess.
It's not your fault.
All right, Lonnie.
So I've got 5. So you guys have to pick between 1 through 5, and it has to be a group decision.
So we can add things on, like marry, fuck, kill, revive. Let's do that.
No, I have 5 groups of 3.
All right. Oh,
well, it's
shit.
Should we go that one?
Eh.
Hey,
3's good.
3.
You wanna go?
We'll go.
Hold on.
3.
Is there a range
What do you mean a range?
Like for animated to music to whatever, are they like themed in any way?
They're all themed. The three of them are all congruent to each other.
Let's go 3, because if this is going to be a thing that we do every now and then, I mean, we'll have plenty of opportunities to go to his other one. So let's start 3 right in the middle. 3 is a good number.
3.
All right. So we have Elvira.
Oh, goodness gracious. What are you doing to me?
We got Rhonda Shear from USA's Up All Night. And we got Nina Blackwood, an MTV.
Pull a picture of her up. I don't know. I know her voice is like she's smoked for 80 years.
And we got Nina Blackwood.
I'm familiar with Elvira. I'm not too familiar with the other 2.
I thought you were going to go with Delilah.
Oh,
whoa,
okay,
wow.
Okay. Yeah, she's changed.
Yeah.
She was a
she
was the MTV DJ or VJ in the 80s.
Looking at these pictures, was she the inspiration behind Troll Dolls? All right. Wow. I'm going to have to think on this one. The first 2, whew, man.
What was the other one?
USA Up All Night. It was Rhonda Shear.
Let me see a picture. I cannot
You don't
place
remember
a
Rhonda
face.
Shear?
You don't remember?
I can't place a face. Dead air. That's good for radio.
Well, we're watching Lonnie type. I'm thinking here because
He only types with one finger each. He's handicapped.
Oh shit, that was the wrong.
now with Elvira,
We're as Elvira, not
it's not as
Nope.
okay.
As
Not as
Elvira.
Cassandra.
Nope.
I mean, even though they both have the same boobies.
They have the same boobies, just different color hair and some makeup.
All right, I think I have mine. Yeah, Rhonda Shear. She was hot, man. She still is. If that's a picture of her now, man. What is she doing there? Sorry, folks. This is you can't see what we're looking at here.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Justin, you think on yours. I have mine ready.
Go for it.
All right, go for it.
All right. So I'm going to start with kill. I would kill Nina Blackwood because I don't think she is as attractive as the other 2, and I believe she's a smoker.
Heartless.
Well, no, listen to her voice. She's got to be a smoker, and I don't want to be with somebody that's a smoker. No, you get in their car and it smells like an ashtray. You kiss them, it tastes like an ashtray. Not doing it. So Nina Blackwood, I'm sorry. I'll still listen to you on the radio, but I'm not going to marry or fuck you. Well, I'm going to fuck you kind of because you're going to be killed. So, so I would kill Nina Blackwood. Now these next 2 between Elvira and Rhonda Shear were a hard one. Literally. I did switch it. I am going to, exactly. I am going to marry Elvira because I am big into the horror genre, and it would be fun to be married to somebody like that because we would live together. I would be able to decorate the house in like horror themed things, Halloween things, and she would probably bring it on because she loves that stuff too. And I still get to play with those boobies. So I would marry Elvira and I would fuck Rhonda Shear because, come on, I mean, look at her. She's been around the block a few times. She knows what she's doing. So, yeah. And she's going to keep me up all night. So those are mine.
Was that the theme you were thinking of? Like,
Yeah.
up all night? Like,
Well, like the theme with that was just female like theme show hosts.
late night?
Not even late night, just like women hosts.
Nice. Well,
What do you got? What do you got, big fella?
mine actually match yours. Get rid of, what's her name? The VJ, Nina.
Why?
Because she just, I don't think I've ever really cared for her. She wasn't really anything like big for me. I mean, she was big for me.
Have you seen her hair? That's big.
I loved her. I'm surprised you guys hate her so much. She's one of my favorite VJs.
Just because I want to kill her doesn't mean I hate her. I had to choose.
I love you so much.
You
I
made
want
me.
you.
Don't
Any of
want
you
her
to know
alive
again.
anymore. And then I would have to marry Mrs. Rhonda Shear. Or sorry. I would have to fuck Mrs. Rhonda Shear. Because, well, it's more of a, is it a one-time thing? Not because I want to, just because it's my turn, So
Get in line.
Yeah,
I get her Fridays and Tuesdays.
all right. Split custody. This is yeah.
So you're gonna
And then
marry-
Elvira, I would marry because she seems more of the type of person. She's wholesome, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and I
feel
can
like-
spend my life with her.
I feel like she'd spend a lot of time in the bathroom getting ready.
Yeah, it's like, what is that? 3-foot hair. It's like the little, what is that called? The
Beehive?
Beehive. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you 2 more of my things because I won't use them again. I'm surprised neither of you went with this. I had Us as the Marry Fuck Kill.
I was actually going to do that as a special. I was going to send you a picture and throw it up there. And
I fuck myself enough. So
And then I had Ambrose Burnside, Francis J. Huron, and Joseph F. Knapp.
I feel like I don't know any of those.
I don't know him.
Those were all Civil War generals.
Oh,
That would have been a yawn fest.
So thanks for not picking those.
Yeah, thank
I'm
you.
not going to say the other 2 because the
'Cause you're
other
gonna
2
do
are
'em.
fucking great.
Well, that was great. That was entertaining.
that was That was that.
You just face palmed into the microphone, Lonnie. All right. Well, what's next?
What is next? I don't have my schedule with me.
I believe it is a movie review.
A movie review? Are we going to do that now?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's segue into that. Man, that didn't come out right. All right. Anyways, that's supposed to
Flop.
say. That's supposed to say segue. Let's try that. Segue. Yeah.
That one. That sound effect will not be appearing in next episode.
I gotta add a little bit more time on that.
Wait, it's my episode next week, right? So I
It
have
is.
to come up with the
You don't
sound
have to.
effects?
I mean, if you think I'm going to come up with all this, I think we just add stuff as we go.
So there was a movie that we were all supposed to watch, and it airs 11 minutes. It was pretty short. I don't know why you guys were recommending me to watch this, but it's called One Cunt of the Dead.
Justin, no.
What?
That was, you added an extra letter. One cut of the dead.
One cut of the dead?
Yeah. We don't, y'all don't say that.
Oh, well, I watched the wrong thing.
Oh.
There's a lot of zombies in it, but
I'm sorry.
I gotta Google this movie now. This is going off of my Netflix queue.
on Netflix. There we go.
Matthew Broderick was in that one.
So yeah, no, One Cut of the Dead. It was actually a pretty good movie, I thought. When I first saw it on the Shudder app, I watched maybe like 5 minutes of it, with Crystal, the missus, the wifey, and we were just like pretty much, side eyeing each other, like, really, on the Shudder app. It has like 3 different streaming, kind of like a TV, like, their own little television type of thing. You can just tune into wherever they're playing it on that. So yeah, what I caught of that was just like boring. It wasn't catching me. I didn't start from the beginning, and it was like, nope. And then maybe 2 weeks later, a mutual friend, posted something about how awesome the movie was, and I'm like, really? And then you got in on that, and you're like, that was, or were you saying like, is it worth it or something like that, or should you check it out? Or
No, I had checked it out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But after that conversation, I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll give it another shot. And then that was our homework for.
Well, Lonnie is the one that told me about this movie. And I was surprised that it was 2017 that it came out. I was thinking it was something that just came out. And so I subscribed to the Shudder channel, app, whatever you want to call it, which has probably been the best $5 a month I've ever spent, because I've been watching a lot of movies on there, more so than Netflix or Prime Video and all that stuff. But I was very close to turning it off, because the way Lonnie had explained this movie to me was more of like, I thought that, I knew the premise of it. And, this is a spoiler alert for those of you that haven't seen it and don't want to know about it. Maybe skip ahead from this or pause it and come back after you watch it, because there's going to be some spoilers. I had thought the way Lonnie explained it was this director that was making a zombie movie, but he wanted it to be real. So he did something to bring real zombies in and attack the actors and stuff. And so I'm thinking the director of this in the movie, the character that was the director in the movie, was going to be like this villain. And so when I started watching it, and it's like, okay, they're making a movie, and then it's just like, oh, here comes what's supposed to be this real zombie. I'm like, oh my God, this is hokey as shit. And I was so tempted to turn it off, but I'm like, nah, I'm going to give it a try. You know, I'm going to start doing that, except for the movie It, the remakes of It. I'm not going to do that for those. I'm not giving them a try. But I am so glad I stuck it out, because that movie, fucking brilliant.
And I have an affinity for terrible horror movies. Like, I'll sit through pretty much anything horror-wise just to laugh it off. Or in that movie, the first 30 minutes of the movie is a typical bad horror movie. So I was actually getting into the bad horror movie aspect of it and thinking, well, if this is what it is, at least it's good fun. I'm having a good time laughing at the bad effects in the bad movie. But then the movie completely 360s on you, and you find out it's supposed to be bad. And
it turns you around and then fucks you over the couch.
Right. You find out the movie, and like Jeremy said, major spoiler, you find out that it's supposed to be a one-cut movie that's on television, and you start learning it from the director's point of view. Like, the movie's basically broke into thirds. The first third is the terrible movie. You're seeing it all. The second third is you meet the director, you meet his family, you see the process of him meeting the cast and kind of learning, what he's up against. And then the last third of the movie is him literally making the movie and all the catastrophes that go along with making a movie.
And the behind the scenes of it.
Right. But it's the whole one cut of him making the one cut movie. And it's literally from a filmmaker's point of view. And that's why I gave it to Jeremy to watch. It is fucking fantastic.
It is.
And there's so many little funny quirks that happen. Like, one of the cast members is just piss drunk. And he's one of the zombies. So he's having to pick this drunk zombie up and physically carry him from his different points. And they're showing it like the first section of the movie, this zombie's like a shambling mess of a zombie, like what you'd imagine a Romero zombie to be. But then you realize he's just piss drunk in the third section. So he's having to carry him from point to point. And literally they're dragging him. And when you see him, like, with blood and what running out of his mouth, they're literally dumping cups of blood in his mouth and just pushing him through a window rather than him jumping through a window. It's just a fantastic...
It is. Right. They thought of everything for that movie. And as a filmmaker, you should watch this movie because you would appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
As somebody that's just a fan of film, that's not necessarily a filmmaker or been a part of filmmaking, it gives you an insight on what it's like to make a movie, like what goes into these scenes and stuff like that. It might be exaggerated a little bit because normally when you make a movie, you're not doing it live in one take.
Right.
But you're still seeing how some of the effects could be done.
Right. And how it all goes wrong.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And that it just kept you entertained. And one thing I will say is, it's a foreign film, so there's subtitles. So it's not in English.
Unless you speak Japanese.
Yeah. But I mean, and normally I hate subtitles in movies. I mean, I watch a lot of foreign films, but they're not my favorite because it's just like I feel like I'm distracted by the text that's on the bottom of the screen. It's like I'm just reading and not really watching what's going on. But if a movie is written and filmed well, it flows hand in hand. You can read, and I mean, sometimes you don't even have to read. You kind of know what they're saying. And this is one of those films where it's just like, it was perfect.
Right.
And just all the things that go wrong and stuff. The one thing I didn't quite get, and maybe I missed something at that point, was the director's wife in the movie. Why did she all of a sudden turn like evil and like try to like sabotage?
She gets lost in her characters.
Yeah.
So she, and everything was already messing up. So she was just already taking over her character.
because there was a point where I did have to go to the bathroom and I didn't pause it, and I think I missed something, but I was just like, why is she trying to purposely sabotage this thing? But
one of the producers says, why did she quit acting? And the daughter was like, well, she gets lost in her characters and has actually ended up breaking somebody's arm.
I didn't see that part, so I missed that part. So, but that, I will say too, when it ended, the first third, when that part ended and it did like the crane shot of the girl and then the credits were rolling, I'm like, oh, is this movie over? I was like, did Lonnie suggest, was it a short film?
Yeah,
And I just didn't.
I did the same thing. You click on it to see how much is left, and there's literally an hour left on the scroll bar.
Yeah.
You're like, well,
what the fuck?
What the fuck is going on? It's just such a masterpiece. In another spoiler, the director is actually cast as the director in the movie. So he goes from being this struggling director, have to deal with this cast that he's never really had to deal with before, and he's struggling with, and they're not behaving themselves, and they're not being professionals. And now he gets to go and be in his own movie where he gets to be an angry and asshole director to this cast, and he's living it. He's loving that moment, and he's so into that character. It's the first joy you see in this
He's
actor.
usually, he bows down to pretty much everybody, and just very timid.
Yeah, very stoic.
Yeah, and then he also loses himself in this character, and I was like, "Wow, right on, man! Like, stand your ground, finally." And like, they were going off of the script, and it was challenging on all ends, I guess.
Right.
I loved the director in the movie when, like, just, I mean, it's one take, and like all the shit's going on. And I just like how he just like he just comes out of nowhere and he's like, action! It's just like,
keep filming.
But and I'm gonna probably butcher his name, but the actor that played that was Takayuki Hamatsu, I think is his name. Fucking brilliant. Like, he is an amazing actor. It's the only thing I've seen him in. I don't know. I haven't really looked at his IMDb to see what else he's in, but man, that guy is.
Seen him in something else, but I can't recall.
I don't think anybody else could have played that part.
Yeah.
He just, and like I said, Lonnie, when he explained it to me, I thought he was going to be the bad guy in the movie. So it's just like, oh, he's so lovable in the beginning here. And then it's just like this first part of the second of the part of the all three parts or whatever. And the second part, in my mind, I'm like, this guy's going to turn into an asshole. He's going to be a bad guy here. And it's just like, man, I don't know that I can necessarily hate this guy. He's so nice and lovable, but turns out, I mean, he's nice and lovable the whole way through the movie.
Right.
And
he's doing it for, I guess, his family for the most part. It's like, when I approached this movie, when I finally went back and watched it from the beginning, it was a slow start, and it was like 37 minutes of like this actual film. And believe it or not, this is not wasn't really made to be filmed. It was a project, like these actors actually had to pay to be in this film. They were doing like what are they called? Like an acting class type of thing.
Yeah.
So, and then they just made it there and then submitted it, and it came out really well. After finally finishing that first 37 minutes and then going into like, a month before, he was met with to make this movie, and he thought it was just a joke. It's like one take, like, you can't do that.
All right.
But you get to see like a more, open the window to his life and like how he's kind of struggling just to be a filmmaker, doing the stuff that he is doing already to challenge this. And his daughter has a crush on a popular actor who is actually cast in this movie. So it kind of gets the whole family involved on this.
And his daughter wants to be involved in the filmmaking process and stuff. And she kind of, she steps in at the end. And I mean, that last shot, I mean, again, spoiler, the last shot they have planned is like a crane shot on top of this building. And they accidentally, when his wife is going crazy, knocks it off the roof. And they're like, shit, what do we do? Well, the daughter Sphinx.
Does a gymnast pyramid.
She has them all do a gymnast pyramid, and she's on the very top, and they hold the shot.
How they frame that, a little pre-shadowing or foreshadowing from a earlier image of when his daughter was like 7 years old, holding a camera on his shoulders, and then it finishes off at that scene. Like
kind of an emotional thing there.
Right.
I was it's like it's this movie is labeled under a horror comedy. I mean, like, I wouldn't say it's horror. I would say it has horror themes, but it's a comedy,
it's
like a family movie
dark
type of
comedy
thing.
at best. Yeah. It's definitely a good coming of age story as well. Like if you eliminate the horror aspect of it and you eliminate the comedy aspect of it, deep in its bones, it is a nice coming of age story as well between the father and the daughter and the mother as well. There's so many little undertones of like that family element of the daughter wanting to go off on her own, but the mother and the father kind of wanting to clip the wings and let her go, but still being protective to her. So
it's like even between all the relationships between the mother, father, daughter type of thing, it's like there's not as much cohesion. I mean, they live civilly together. The daughter's always trying to do her own thing. The mother has concerns about what she's doing, and she's a little bit strict as far as her directing style.
Yeah.
So when the father shows up and sees like what she's doing, it's like what she's trying to do or accomplish. They all get involved together on this one project that was pretty much handed into his lap, and they kind of make something beautiful, a little family project.
And let's not forget the old lady that plays like the executive producer at the TV station. She had a small part, but I thought she was hilarious.
So fucking adorable.
She reminded me of what's that actress's name on that CSI show? NCIS. Whatever with
forensic
LL Cool J, that little lady that wears the glasses and stuff. She kind of reminds me of like the Asian version of her, but
she reminds me of every Jewish bubby around the planet, like a Japanese version of it, just being like, "Oh, you're so cold, have a sweater."
So I like I said before on Facebook, I gave this movie a 10 out of 10 stars. I think it's probably one of the most brilliant movies I've seen in a long time.
Absolutely, 10 out of 10 for sure.
If you haven't seen it, if you have Shudder, watch it on there.
You can get it on Netflix as well.
Is it on Netflix
Netflix
now?
is streaming it. Yeah, I think it's like $4 to rent it.
Yeah, it's well worth it if you like those kind of films. I mean, if I think it's something you'd like. Again, it's subtitles, but it's not really that big of a deal with this movie.
Personally, for me, I kind of grew up on subtitle movies, watching a lot of Asian, Hong Kong flicks and stuff. That was my go-to back in the day. IMDb ranks this at a 7.7, and Rotten Tomatoes gives it 100% on the tomato meter and 82% on the audience score. So
it just proves that people don't have a fucking clue what a good movie is. It's the same people who put like
those are relatively high. And it's not mediocre.
And the fact that it's been out for 3 years now.
Well, it came out in Japan in 2017. The States didn't get it till 2019.
Yeah, they hold on to it for like 2 years before it was.
Yeah, the States didn't get it till last year. So it's still relatively a new movie for us.
Yeah. So one cut of the dead, not one cunt of the dead. Don't pull it. Don't pull it, Justin.
You can Google that if you want to. I would recommend doing it in your incognito mode on your computer.
I didn't find it to be everything's censored, so it's like.
Well, Lonnie here Googled it, one cunt of the dead, and there's a picture of Lucille Ball. So I'm just kidding. Her and Ricky Ricardo. So yeah, that was a good movie. That's something else that we're going to try to do here is we're going to watch a movie and do movie reviews on this podcast.
We're like, yep, I watched it. Next segment.
So if you have watched this movie, when this is posted up, comment in the link what you thought of this movie. Let us know. And if there's any other movies out there that you think that we should take a look at that are kind of like this movie, so I got like the hiccups all of a sudden, let us know, and we can possibly do that as a segment where we all watch it. And
what's your common go-to? You're more horror? Usually horror?
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. Like, I have roughly about 1,200 DVDs at home, and I would say about 70% of my collection is a horror movies.
What's your scariest movie?
Scariest? I mean, movies don't really scare me now. If I'm going to go off of something that did scare me, the only movie that scared me as a little kid growing up was The Exorcist.
I think what scared me. Have you seen Barney's Grand Adventure?
No.
Fuck, man. I've always said, like, I don't think I've ever really had, like, a nightmare, but if I did, it would probably be because of those damn Oompa Loompas. Those things kind of freaked me out.
That's
not
in the day and age we're living. Don't talk about that.
Oompa Loompas are people, too.
They are.
I don't like the sound of this.
But no, Willy, if you're talking about Willy Wonka and scary, that fucking boat scene in Willy Wonka, that was fucking terrifying.
If that's what I'm thinking of, because it's been a while since I've seen that movie.
The strobes and the dark lights.
Somebody made a like video on YouTube and like added sound effects and different music, and that frightened the shit out of me.
There's a pretty cool Manson cover of that. That's
I don't like the looks of this. There's a rap song that comes out or that uses that. Just like, I don't like the look of it. I'll have to look that up.
No, keep going. Keep beatboxing.
Yeah, keep getting us defunded.
If our buddy John Marshall is listening, he would know what song it is because I think he's the one that got me into it.
John, what is it?
He's not here. He's not going to hear this.
That's correct.
No.
Right.
Yeah. So that was fantastic.
Next thing. Now, well, we're actually going to take a second to promote some sponsors here. So we got ML Image Photography. ML Image Photography has been around since 2005 and specializes in glamour, boudoir, pinup, ink model, fine art, nude glamour, nude cosplay, dark beauty, and horror. You can join ML Image on Patreon and become a member to see a lot of his work, or go to mlimage.com to see some of his art. We must warn you, it is not safe for work, so be cautious when you're looking at his work. If you are a model and interested in working with ML Image, contact his mlimage.com page. ML Image, where image is everything.
I'm waiting for you to say something. I was waiting for some smart ass comment.
Oh.
Oh no! We suck again!
Yeah, ML Image, that's one of our producers here too.
Yeah.
Michael.
He's a good guy.
He is.
See so many boobies.
Wasn't he supposed to be here?
He was, but he had a long day at work, and like he kind of said, he's just like, I'll probably just be sitting there.
Oh,
in the corner.
is him tired? He's going to take a nappy nap.
He's tired.
I can't wait till you guys leave so I can take a nap.
So you said boobies? You're excited about boobies?
No, I said he sees so many boobies.
Oh, I have too. Remember him and I used to run a modeling group together called Glam Gore Girls.
Oh, this is the world's tiniest violin saying you don't get to see boobs.
I'm going the complete opposite direction. It's not as exciting as people think it is. Like as a kid, I always looked at the guys that like did Playboy. I'm like, oh man, those guys get to be on set with like naked women all the time. That's got to be the best job ever.
Nope. I'm gonna ask the other.
It's not like it's.
I'm gonna ask the other married man in the room. Hey, do you miss seeing all those boobies?
What boobies?
You're married, not dead. Just make a fair trade. Just
fuck off me.
Tell your wives to
me.
Google penis pictures. And it's not like they don't see penis pictures. Like probably guys send them dick pics all the time.
I try to show her all the time. And she's like, "Get that fucking thing out of my face."
I do have a story about a certain photography session that I was a part of. So there's this dude who he does these really awesome, intricate masks and stuff, and he models a lot of male dudes.
You are a male man. I get it.
That's not where the joke was.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But yeah. So so I went to his studio and he's like, he wanted it to be like in the
take your pants off.
Yeah, pretty much. So
I said masks. I meant dick covers.
So I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm here. I was actually doing some modeling back in the day at this agency I worked with. And I want to say I found him through there, or he kind of searched some models and stuff like that. But I went in and saw like his wall where he had like these dudes with these, they're pretty cool paper mache masks. I was like, that's awesome. Well, I guess, let's fuck it up. Let's see what we can do. So, and I've never had anybody say this to me, so it was
Take your pants off.
No, it was really interesting.
Put your pants back on.
Ew. But yeah. So I'm wearing like these boxer briefs with like little. I mean, there was from a H&M type of thing, so they were kind of designer type of situation. So, and I'm wearing like this mask, and he's like, all right. And he wants me to like perch on like this stool. So I'm perching, and I'm like doing all these movements and stuff that's like very elaborate and breezy and stuff. And, like, and he's like, nice. Keep that on. Man, you got these tits that are, I'm like, tits? I don't think anybody's ever referred to my chest as tits, He's like, you just got this build, you have excellent tits. I'm like, what? This is weird. You just made it weird.
Is this guy now in prison?
No, actually, I don't know. I mean, he was a cool dude.
He's on familywatchdog.org right now as a dot.
Was he telling you to fluff the whole time? Like, that's a good position, but you need to fluff a little.
Can you crouch like a praying mantis?
Yeah.
Are you
Let's
okay?
do it.
Are you okay with shooting nude as he walks out naked?
Well, in his defense, you do have nice tits, Justin.
Thank you.
I didn't want to mention it, but your tits are really great.
They're okay.
Stop being modest. You grew them yourself.
I did.
Well, I've never had a guy except for Mike at ML Image take pictures of
That's
me.
who I'm talking about.
Then I was correct with my assumptions.
No, it wasn't Mike. Mike's cool. He's.
He'll never compliment your tits.
I know, and that's kind of what I'm waiting for. When I'm over there, I always, do the pectolating pictorials, just bouncing them.
I've worked with a lot of photographers in my day, and a lot of them, it's just like some I get it that they're in it for the art, but a lot of them are in it because it's like, this is my excuse. I have a camera and lights, and I can get girls to pose naked for me and stuff like that. I never get that vibe from Michael. I think he's very professional with what he does. And I mean, we're all human. We all like the female body here in this room. I'm not speaking for everybody.
Most of us.
But I mean, yeah, we're all human. We all like the female body, and but I don't think Mike uses being a photographer as a reason to be able to take pictures of the female body. That's just what he excels at.
That's what he's very good.
And
yeah.
I mean, he also he was getting into nature photography too. So
he's got an eye for things.
So
he doesn't just drop the lens cap and be like,
Yeah, bitch.
gotcha, bitch.
And I mean, Lonnie, you're a photographer.
Gotcha,
I don't think you don't take pictures of females like
the only people photography I do is I do some senior picture stuff. Other than that, just weddings. That's the really only people.
You see a
Old
lot
people?
of tits at weddings. I
So
bet.
many tits.
You do old people and
I
weddings?
shoot old people.
You gotta
and
wait.
then action stuff's really the only people I do. Concerts and wrestling. That's the only.
Nice.
You got to wait till the end of the reception after Granny's been liquored up a little bit. and
Seniors.
Then you take her.
Then you chase
Take her
out.
outside, and you're just like, "Hey, can I take a picture of you?" And then you send Grandpa back inside.
Show me your tits, Granny.
Totally kidding. Not.
Young man.
Anyways, so what's next on our agenda? Do we have a?
Anything else? I think our good friend over here, Lonnie, is kind of weird because me and Lonnie, this is probably like the 6th time me and Lonnie has seen each other.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people probably assume that we go way back or something, but we've only known each other by a select few of friends. Just you, Jeremy,
Yeah.
Paco,
I've had a different hair color every time you've seen me.
possibly.
Paco was the one that really introduced me to Lonnie.
Yep.
I mean, she's just a mutual friend of ours. And where was it that we were at where he told you, like, you need to meet this guy, Jeremy?
I don't remember. Where was it?
Skate days?
No. Was it? I don't know if it was it Old Chicago? No,
Sounds,
he doesn't like Old Chicago.
was it Tap
He found a
House?
pubic hair in his pizza once there, and he refuses to go back.
Yeah. But wasn't it his pubic hair?
It was
No,
at a
his
quinceañera.
he
He doesn't do that anymore. He's shaved, man.
Quinceañeras.
Yeah.
he dyes because you know how he changes his hair color like you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to come back on that. I don't remember where it was. It might have been at.
Was it Tap House?
It sounds a little bit more familiar. Anyways, but no.
Well,
you
Lonnie has a little topic he wants to go for.
I do.
Come on and make my day, Jew.
That was fan fucking time.
because Lonnie's Jewish.
Jewish.
Emphasis on the ish.
Ish. Yeah. All right. So I'll start this. When's the last time you two have seen the Blair Witch Project?
Oh, I mean,
It's been a while.
It's been a couple years, but I love that movie.
But you have seen
When
it.
I say a minute, I don't mean like 60 seconds. So it's been a minute, but yeah.
But you have seen it.
Roughly maybe 2 or 3 years after it's came out was the last time I saw it.
That's
Okay.
the Godfather of found footage movies.
Yes, it is.
Amazing.
All right. So we're in a courtroom. I'm setting the scene. The Blair Witch. Yeah.
Nah.
The Blair Witch is my client, and you two are the jury. So here we go. I am here to, without a shadow of a doubt, to defend my client. Ellie Kedward did not murder Heather, Mike, and Joshua. I'm here to explain to you that Joshua and Mike are the ones who murdered Heather. And over the next 15 minutes or so, my job is to prove to you that they did it. And we have video proof.
I'm kind of sold on it already.
And that video proof is the Blair Witch Project. So I'm going to go through all the facts. This all comes from the Blair Witch Project and Heather's journal, which is in the information from the Blair Witch Project as well. If you have any questions during my case, please stop me and feel free to ask.
Okay.
Okay.
What if I have flat feet? Does that disqualify me for being on the jury?
No, sir.
Okay.
Bone spurs do not either.
Okay.
Okay. So the film focuses on the three main characters: Heather, the narrator and director; Joshua, the cameraman; and Mike, the sound technician. Josh is Heather's ex-boyfriend, and Mike is a very close friend of Josh's who has never met Heather. He is introduced to her as he makes his way into the car. In Heather's journal, which is a big part of this case, including all the details, she says the boys have a very strong connection, and she feels like she is instantly outed as it starts. Heather is funding this project 100%. Josh and Mike are not getting paid. They are volunteering their time, and they... Oh, I thought that was... Did you just rip a fucking banana in half and bite it?
That's how he eats them, man. Don't
fucking,
ask.
That's fucking weird. They are donating their time, and they are working for free. So they are walking through the woods with all this heavy ass equipment that was from the 90s, and you know, the big VHS tapes, the big DAT cameras. This stuff is not cheap.
The 90s were heavy.
Not light, exactly.
And his mother bought him rain gear.
Right, and it was in 1994.
Okay.
The three take off into the woods to go to Coffin Rock and to find a cemetery, and then make their way back to the car. Mike has the compass, Heather has the map, and Josh is recording the whole time. Now keep those three elements in your head, because that is a key part of this case. After Heather, Josh, and Mike have filmed at their two desired locations, they take the most direct route from the graveyard to go back to the car. Joshua and Mike, who have no interest in leading, are always in the lead, even though they do not know where they're going.
Wait. Who has the compass?
Josh.
Mike. Mike has the
Oh,
compass.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Josh
Josh
is
has the
recording.
camera.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
The whole time, Mike and Josh have been leading, even though they don't know where they're going because Heather has the map. But they always seem to be in the lead, taking the direct route, even though Heather has the map. Now, Mike has the compass, but they've made it easily to their 2 locations. So on their way home, back to the car, they are confused and concerned because they don't know where they're going. They bring up the fact that they don't recognize anything in this location. Nothing looks familiar to them. Heather brings up the point that this is the most direct location. So using
Geographical points and
yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Point A and B, now you're just going directly to point C. So Josh constantly asks for the map. Give me the map. Give me the map. Give me the map. Heather then, in the evidence, says, okay, give me a second. I have to get the map. And then the tape fades. They go to sleep. They wake up, and there's an altercation between Heather and Josh. The map is missing. Heather is accusing Josh of taking the map, accusing Mike of taking the map. Josh is consistently saying, I gave you back the map. So that altercation happens between the 2 of them, so the map is gone. Mike, at this point, who has had no interest in leading the group, says, we're going to go this way. We've been traveling this way. We're going to continue going this way. So someone who's very passive in the direction of their going says, we're going to go this way. They decided to go south. Well, Heather, who has read multiple tracking books, which they show at the beginning of the film, when she has her books in their room, in the hotel room, says, we're going to follow this creek. It's a very smart thing to do. So they follow the creek for the while, and then they randomly stop following the creek because Josh and Mike don't want to. When this is brought up, Josh and Mike say nothing. They just don't want to anymore. Let me see where I was. So they sleep.
Again?
They have to go to sleep because the
So they pretty much argued about this the whole next day and
all day, yeah. After
The rest of the movie.
yeah, basically. So they go to sleep. They wake up. Josh says he's heard sounds, multiple sounds. He says one could have been an owl, but one was definitely a cackling.
To which Mike says, if I would have heard cackling, I would have shit in my pants.
Exactly.
Best line of the movie.
So he is, in my professional opinion, creating mass hysteria. Because he's saying in a very calm manner, which Mike is then in turn putting credence to the mass hysteria by saying, man, if I heard it, I would be super frightened. So they're putting this mass hysteria into Heather's brain. So now every time she hears something in the woods, she's going to internalize it as, oh, that's bad. After all this being stuck in the woods, lost for days, limited food, hearing scary shit with no map, Josh and Mike start laughing and joking around as somewhat delusional.
delirious.
Delirium.
Just done
yeah.
with it.
Or is that Josh and Mike now knowing they have the fear starting being ingrained in Heather's head?
I know how that works.
Right, yeah. So maybe the the thought is in, and now they're trying to irritate her into being
When you say thought. Oh, okay.
the thought that
Okay.
the witch is on their trail.
Not the,
They go to bed. They wake up again, surrounded by rock piles.
when they wake up.
They're surrounded by rock piles. Well, I'm trying to convince you that it was Josh and Mike who killed Heather. Well, at this point, you must be thinking, well, how is all this paranormal shit happening if it's the two guys who are killing Heather?
That's exactly what I was just going to ask.
Well, earlier in the movie, the very first night, Heather claims she sleeps like a rock.
Like a rock.
So it's very feasible that someone can walk out of the tent and make rock piles. It's very feasible that a human being is able to walk out of a tent and disappear.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
How do you explain when all three of them are in the tent and you hear kids outside laughing and giggling and then the tent starts shaking uncontrollably?
What is Mike's job that I explained at the beginning of this article?
To
Direct.
get sound?
He is a sound engineer. So how feasible is it that Josh could plant speakers in the woods?
Okay, that gets the kids laughing, but the
To-
tent shaking. How do you get this tent to shake?
Who do you see in that shot when the tent is shaking?
Mike.
Mike's in it. And
Josh
Heather.
is not in that scene. Josh is already gone at that point.
He's he's not.
Isn't he?
He's got the camera.
Heather has the camera.
No, because when they're running away, Heather and Mike are
In front.
in front.
Oh, you're right. No, that's not, because Heather is screaming, "What the fuck?" Because in the making of that scene, one of the directors is wearing only long johns, who's not supposed to be there.
But Josh is not missing at that point. I can 100% tell you he is still there. He may not be on camera, but he's still in the tent with them.
All right.
I'm just asking
second
questions.
compartment in the tent where he's trying to get dressed and it's shaking everything. That's probably what
That's just
happens.
my question.
The
so-
jerking.
There's
so,
a logical
okay.
resolution.
Go
for this,
on.
like this.
That I cannot explain. I
Okay.
can explain the children, but I can't explain the
And
shaking.
yeah, that very well could be that Mike had some sound effect speakers. So, okay.
So, after a couple days of walking, 11 hours of walking south, they make a large circle and they end back in the same spot where Heather demands to see the compass. And who freaks out once Heather has the compass? Mike. So at this point, the boys are back in control. Mike has admitted to losing the map. But how did Mike get the map?
He
There's
He went in her.
the first time or because she gave it to him the first time and then he said he
No.
gave it back.
He gave the map to Josh. Mike is the one who said he kicked the map into the creek. So how did Mike end up with the map? There's two possible solutions. He either stole the map while she was sleeping, or Josh gave her the map, or Josh gave him the map. So Heather knew the possibility that she was right, that Josh lost the map.
I gave you back the map, Heather.
Right? Most saw at half of the movie as I'm arguing about the damn map. Now the only way to get around is the compass, which Heather yells, "Give me the compass." That's a 5-minute argument where Mike takes the compass. Now it's back in control of the boys. Heather decides the best method would be to stick to the river. The boys decide that's not going to happen.
Those are stupid boys.
Yeah. So
That just proves how much smarter girls are.
right.
The boys.
Um,
Are we pandering yet?
Suck up.
yes, suck. It's Father's Day. They have to pander to us. We talked about all the creepy shit, the paranormal shit. So Josh goes missing. Just disappears out of the tent. How would that happen?
Poof.
We know, like we said, Heather sleeps like a rock. And Mike could easily just let him go. Couple days go by of Mike trying to be the good guy. And Heather being scared, he's continuing to put that mass hysteria into Heather. He's still hearing all the sounds, hearing the stuff. Mike's hanging back, kind of letting Heather take the lead, kind of still filling her head with fear. A couple days go by of this. They wake up and find the bundle. What's in the bundle? Clothes, blood, and teeth that are supposedly supposed to be Josh's. You don't know. There's never an explanation of who they are. But if it's a premeditated murder, how easy would it be to find teeth?
This easy.
This easy.
I know you can buy them off of the Wish app.
Right? Any color teeth you want.
Just expect a year for them to arrive.
Right. All right, so now it's time to look at the most damning piece of evidence, if I do not have you convinced right now, is the ending.
Oops.
Do you have any questions before I get to the ending?
Is it Is this going to take long?
I don't. I'm intrigued about this ending here.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay. So the ending, they wake up, they hear Josh screaming, so they run. They go out of the tent to find him. And who is the first one to run into the dark woods?
Mike.
Has Mike ever been the one to initiate anything?
No.
No. He's always been the passive one. It's always been Heather to lead everything. So Mike is the first one to go running into the woods. Who finds the murder cabin? This same woods they've been making circles in for the last 5 days.
That'd be Mike.
How can they all of a sudden find something they've been circling for 5 days? Most of it during the daylight. So how all of a sudden they run less than 50 yards and notice the cabin? In 50 yards of woods, you would easily been able to see it during
So
the day.
he can engineer sound to block the visual.
Block the visual keys.
Josh built that house.
Why,
That's what it knows.
why they were searching.
Teeth.
So they walk through the front door. They hear Josh screaming. Mike goes, I think he's upstairs. And he goes upstairs pretty quickly, leaving Heather behind. So he runs upstairs in a house he doesn't know. He's never seen it. He gets upstairs quite quickly, leaving Heather behind. When he gets to the top of the stairs, and you can see from his camera angle, he does not move. He's standing looking at the wall. Now, granted, the wall is scary. It has handprints and scary shit on the wall. He could have been mesmerized by it. When Heather gets to the top of the stairs, he yells at the top of his lungs, I think he's downstairs. And he runs as fast as he can downstairs in a dark house he's never been in.
Like
and
he knows the path.
Exactly where to go. And why, in a house with a witch in it, you know exactly where to go, and why would you scream you're going there at the top of your lungs?
To signal somebody else.
So he runs to the basement, drops his camera. That's the last you see of Mike. Then, maybe a good 3 minutes later, in the process of Heather coming down with the DAT camera, screaming for Mike, she gets to the bottom of the steps, records Mike in the corner. Her camera falls. End of movie. So, I put the case in your hands. Do you believe that Ellie Kedward killed Heather, Mike, and Josh? Or do you think this was a crime of passion that Josh and Mike killed Heather and ran off into the woods?
All signs could point to Josh and Mike being guilty, except for one instance, and that is the instance I brought up before.
Let me present this to you. When the other people went out to find these tapes in the woods, nothing ever happened to them. There was no witch, there was no nothing.
But I'm still, how do you explain when all three of them were in the tent that it was shaking, and then when they came back there was green goo or green slime all over Josh's stuff. Now, if it was Mike and Josh acting alone, I would say that I don't believe it was them. But if they had a third, maybe even a fourth person follow them as accomplices out in the woods, I could see that. Like maybe there was like 4 of them that actually acted to kill Heather. But I don't know. I want to hear what Justin has to say before I make a decision.
So a total of, was it 3 days?
That they were gone in the woods?
Yeah, or recorded.
It was more than that.
Yeah, I think they were out for 11 or 12 days total.
Well, how much
there was like 2 or 3 nights where it was just Heather and Mike by themselves. There was about like 4 or 5 nights when it was all 3 of them, because each night it was getting progressively worse with things.
I feel like if they wanted to kill her, they could have done it at any time. So
this is true. Why drag it out so long?
I mean, like you get off on the fear and stuff like that. I mean, that's a whole different.
They could be doing it because they're recording this for a class project, so that's evidence that they were all together this whole time too.
It's their receipt to show them as pretty much innocent.
But then where did they go though? Like where did Josh and Mike disappear to then after this all happened?
Canada.
I mean, were they starting a new life together? Was
Happy
this
couple?
Were they like actually in love with each other?
They can't have kids, so they adopt.
I mean, if this was a crime of passion on Josh's behalf, I mean, he's basically changing his whole life. He's pretty much giving up his life to kill Heather and start a new life someplace else with Mike. I don't know.
My God, who the hell cares?
It's a tough one for me because I could see all sides. Do I think that it was the Blair Witch or whatever that killed them? I mean, because nothing really paranormal really happened while they were out there. Anything that happened out there could have been explained by lots of things, like the cracking of the sticks and stuff. I think it was at one point they said it could be deer or something like that, which is very feasible.
There's wildlife out there. Yeah. I still stand by, if they wanted to kill her, they should have, they could have done it. They didn't have to drag it out. I mean, I'm pretty sure the boys wanted to get home to play some Tony Hawk.
Right. And she was a dick the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, watching the movie again, she was a dick.
Right.
Like,
see,
an utter dick the whole time to them.
If I were to kill somebody, I'll tell you what I did, or would do.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. I wouldn't have dragged it out that long.
But evidence.
Yeah.
That's evidence to prove that they didn't do it, that there was all the ghosts and stuff doing it. That's their alibi, these tapes. I think that they had help because, like I said, nothing paranormal really happened, and everything else could have been explained by other people being out there. The stick figures hanging around, that could have been their friends and just saying, all right, we're going to come this path today. The rocks outside could have been Josh and Mike if she slept like a rock. Could have been their friends. Obviously, the shaking of the tents could have been their friends and tearing up of the tent or whatever and throwing green goo or whatever. So
that sounds like Predator.
So I don't think that it was the Blair Witch, but I also don't think that there's enough evidence to prove 100% that Josh and Mike did it.
All right.
How many cases have they accused the Blair Witch of other than these? Is there countless cases, or
I don't know? It's just a movie.
Well, there was no backstory.
at the beginning they interview the townspeople and they talk about, the backstory of it, and then those two guys fishing. Like, I saw one time some like mist rising up over there, and the other guy's like, you're full of it.
Usually when they're fishing, they're drinking, so you can't trust their...
Absolutely. I mean, and then that lady that they talked to that claims that she's
Mary Brown.
Yeah. Like that said she wanted to be an actress or whatever. I mean, they found the most gullible, hokey people they possibly could.
Well, it's a sheltered town that they'll believe anything, right?
True.
Nice.
I mean, maybe you could look at it this way too. Maybe there's another thing. Maybe Heather was in control this whole time. Maybe she got them, Josh and Michael, killed. And
what rhymes with bitch?
Lilo and Stitch.
Rich.
I don't know, man. So I said my verdict. I can't say guilty. There's not enough evidence for me, at least, to convict Mike and Josh.
Everything that's recorded on film doesn't place guilt on them. You can, like he was saying, you can kind of excuse certain things, like as far as like the sticks, the movement, wind. Also, the only thing that I am confused about is their decision to like not follow the water and stuff like that. The, splitting, like normally if you're following a map, you would also follow the compass, like to direct it, shoot a back azimuth and boom. That's not how that works, but it's close enough.
I mean, to me, the one evidence that you brought out that's kind of like, I don't know, is they stumbled across the house that apparently wasn't that far away from them.
Right.
And how they set their tent up when it was still daylight out. You would have been able to see this house in the middle of the woods. So there's something fishy going on there. I think that this case needs to be reopened at another time.
I agree. Reopen it.
Sorry, I got like the biggest Charlie horse in my calf muscle right now, or my thigh. That was very interesting, Lonnie. I really like that. That was fun. I like that. Did you come up with that on your own?
I've seen people talking about it, but not going that in depth with it. Like, I had fun, like reading the journals and watching the movie, and there's been people who have taken the theory and go, well, here's a bunch of reasons why they didn't do it. And I'm like, okay, why? Well, you're not going to tell me why? So I went through and rewatched the movie, and I'm like, okay, here's why. And I took all the things and tried to write it down why. And I just had fun with it. I had like 10 pages worth of notes. And I was like, well, in this part of the journal, she says this. Like she said, they never let me fall asleep last. They always had me fall asleep first. What does this mean? Like,
I've never read the journals.
It's just from one of those, like, if you just Google Heather's journals, Blair Witch, it's like 36 pages worth of journal.
Huh. Well, what do you, the listeners, think about this? What is your theory, your verdict on this? Let us know in the comments.
I think they all went out there to willingly die. They got
a possibility.
It was calling for them. They were hearing it. The voices in their head.
I'm telling you, that movie, it's kind of funny that you brought that up, because when Justin asked about like movies that like scared me, that was actually one. I mean, it didn't really scare me, but I believed it was real. And I'm going to tell you what, I used to camp a lot back then, and I was very leery about being in a tent after seeing that movie.
It scared the piss out of me.
Or anytime a breeze comes by, you're like,
yeah, a priest.
Well, that too.
That too. In the woods.
All right. Well, that was fun. Are we on to our main topic now?
Yeah, we can move to our main topic. We're about an hour and a half in, so
strap in.
You guys want to talk about a little bit of entertainment? Some entertainment? Yeah. Well, our main topic.
Yeah.
We kind of wanted to play with, tear apart, discuss a certain issue that gets brought up quite often, especially when it comes to like mass shootings and stuff. This argument, which I think is kind of a mushy argument, but do violent video games cause violence? Do violent video games cause violence? What is your initial reaction to that?
Me?
Yeah, either of you. There's two of you.
No.
1, 2. No. Good. Okay.
Done.
I don't think so.
No. Like I said, it's kind of a mushy topic. I feel like a lot of people just want to see what they want to see, and they just push things off as a easy scapegoat or cop out, and they don't want to identify the underlying issues, the mental or psychological issues. But yeah, what is your reasoning for saying no, though?
I just think it's like you said. There's so many underlying reasons, and it's an easy excuse. Like when they started rating the video games in 1994, what else was happening in 1994 or 1993 around that time? Wasn't it Desert Storm or
right?
And maybe that was something that was causing people to be violent and uproar. Maybe it wasn't the video game industry that needed to be tapped into. Maybe it was society that needed tapped into,
right?
And maybe given a chill pill too.
So yeah, I think people try to address. They want the easy out. Like they want to blame the music, or like how Marilyn Manson got brought up just because the Columbine shooters were Manson fans, and it's like, well, that's music has nothing to do with this. People need to understand that correlation or association doesn't imply causation.
Right.
And a lot of people,
You're just using big words now. I'm lost.
or the playing a video game doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to cause you to go out and do it. It's like, oh, this person died, so I can just, take this gun and go. It's like, well, yeah, that person that you just killed in a video game is not a person. There's a moral discussion that needs to be had there. It's like, you are flesh and blood sitting in front of me. I mean, like, I know not to kill you, but killing a person in a game, these zeros and ones isn't killing them. It is just, eliminating a little speck on a screen type of thing. It doesn't affect anything in my everyday life. It just, affects this. I can restart the game and do something. I cannot restart you. So
I think people's argument with that, though, is that it's just showing people ways to kill people, gives them ideas of how they can go about killing people. And, I always say, I mean, if we're going to go that route, why is it just video games? I mean, you have movies, TV shows, songs, all this stuff.
They're all a means of entertainment that people just sit to relieve their stress.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if they want to say that violence in video games makes people violent, then they can say the same argument for certain things like, those food games, like Chef Supreme or whatever makes people obese, or the Paperboy makes people a better worker, or life simulators make people better at life, or porn makes people better lovers.
I played Tony Hawk skateboard a lot on N64, and it definitely didn't make me a better skateboarder. Believe me, I tried.
Right.
And
see, I think you can link certain things as far as it'll increase or pique your interest or entertainment to make you want to delve into those real life topics or situations. If anything, it can make you more creative. If you're violent, you can be more creative at killing somebody, but it doesn't make you want to kill somebody. It's like, I remember reading a study in Japan how they have like these rape simulators, but their rape over there, not that I'm advocating for any of this, but their rape is extremely low. But they have like these simulators that they know, that people can not accidentally strangle, if somebody's in some sort of asphyxiation type of kink.
I don't get the simulator, like a rape simulator.
It's a video game. So it's like a VR type of thing.
Lonnie.
It's like, are you interested?
Like that to me right there, like, I think the person that came up with that simulator is the problem.
Yeah.
Why would that even need to be a simulation?
Yeah. See, I don't know. There's been ongoing studies. The APA, the American Psychological Association, they've been doing this study for 10 plus years. Originally, when they started it, I mean, they worked with, or I guess they ran with like the same, idea. Like it's probably making people more violent. But now they're saying there's no causal link. It's a moot point.
I mean, I look at it this way. Has there been somebody out there that has been inspired and influenced by a video game to go out and kill people? Absolutely. Is it a big issue? No. I mean, what country was that a couple years ago where the guy strapped a GoPro to his chest and he went into a church and just opened fire and killed all these people in the church? And you saw the whole thing. It looked like a video game brought to life. That guy right there, I 100% do believe that he was inspired by a video game to go out and kill, because look at his setup. I mean, you saw his hand, you saw the gun when he was reloading, it would go down and come back up. It looked just like a video game.
It can inspire you, like I said, to go out and perform these heinous crimes, but to use it as the reasoning behind, no, I don't think you can use that. Just because somebody's idea or art or music, it's not brainwashing you. It's like there is a link also that like more aggressive gamers are going to, adhere more towards those, violent games. Like, would you consider yourself a gamer?
Me? Absolutely not.
Not so much you?
I play 2 franchises really, and that's it.
Right. See, America, there's 65% of Americans are considered gamers, and that's I mean, that can be pretty much anything as far as like, puzzle games, shooters, action, casual, sports.
Rape simulators.
That too. Well, we're talking about America here. But I mean, like anything that's on your, phone or PC or, console, if you invest like an hour or two, I believe that was the poll for this particular poll, was if you invest like 2 hours a week, then you're pretty much considered a gamer. But
I'm out.
Now, when a game comes out that I'm excited about, like like I said, I'm a 2 franchise guy. I'm a Resident Evil guy, and I'm a Final Fantasy guy. Like when a new one of those comes out, I'll play it until I'm done with it, and then I put it away.
See, that's kind of how I'm a binger.
Yeah.
Like I'll play it for maybe 2 weeks, and then I'll put it away for like 4 months.
Right. I play it till it's done, and then I'll pack it up. Now Tracy, on the other hand, she'll play a game until she's 100%ed it in every possible way, and then she'll pick it up and play it again. She'll play something religiously, and then she's done with it.
The only game I play religiously
is Keno.
Is Roller Coaster Tycoon, where you build your own theme park. And I can tell you, I have not gone out and built my own theme park. So
didn't you used to manage a sort of roller coaster type?
I used to work at Funplex, but
a lot of people died that week.
I think the bottom line is, and you kind of had said this, Justin, people are always, there's so many Karens in this world. And I'm sorry to anybody named Karen, but that's just what people call
the racist
the
women.
The tattletale people. They call them Karens.
Did you say racist? Is that what people are saying now?
All the
it's a sexist
white women.
It's a sexist statement towards women,
but
not a racist.
There are so many Karens in this world that have to find something to put blame on. Nobody can take, what's the word I'm looking for? Accountability, thank you, for something that might be their fault. I think the biggest problem is, and you look at Columbine and all that stuff in these school shooters, is the answers were there. It's the parenting. You, as a parent, you need to be involved in your child's life. You need to ask questions. Even if they don't want to talk to you, you need to be a part of their life. You need to go in their room, talk to them, see. I mean, I guarantee you, if like the Columbine shooters' parents went in their room, they would have probably saw some signs of like, shit, something's wrong here. And maybe that's a bad example because they were like really the first of their kind.
They popularized it for sure.
Yeah, but it's parents need to be parents, and and I don't take that the wrong way. I'm not saying every parent's bad out there, and not saying that everybody that's killed somebody went on a shooting spree or whatever, that their parents are to blame, but I think that
that's where it starts. Your house is where it starts.
Exactly. And
But Jeremy, that means I have to sit and actually pay attention to my kids. I just worked a hard 8-hour day, and now I have to come home and pay attention to my kid.
And you know, if you want to do kind of like what we talked about last week, where I said a lot of people, parents, like with technology, that technology is the babysitter for the parents. Right. They're just like, go play your game. And you know, if that's what you want to do, that's what you do. I'm not telling you how to parent. I don't have kids.
I will gladly tell them, stop being a dipshit and pay attention to your children.
But yeah, I mean, if they're going to let them play video games, ask them, be like, oh, what game are you playing and stuff like that. And if you notice that they're playing the same shooter game all the time, they're going around the house pretending to shoot up things and stuff like that. Maybe that's when you need to have a talk to them and be like, hey, you should probably tone that down there and stuff like that. And I mean, as an adult, if you're an adult and you're a gamer, let's look at the, what was his name? Is it James Holmes, the guy that did the Aurora, Colorado shooting
the
Batman thing? Yeah. I mean, he basically admitted that, you know, Joker, I think, was like
his inspiration
and stuff like that. That's when co-workers, friends, family members, you know, and he's somebody that down the road I think we should delve more in depth, because this kid was fucking brilliant. Like, he was smart. He was on his way to like being like a historian and stuff like that. And then this happened. I mean, there's got to be signs out there, and you know, if you see signs, it's better safe than sorry. Talk to your friend if you think that they're kind of going down a weird path. The worst case scenario is like, dude, I'm fine. Like, what the fuck?
But most people don't want to be that person to speak up. Like, it's kind of the bystander effect. Like, nobody else is saying anything, so I'm not going to.
And that's the problem. You got to just fucking do it.
But that's also the issue with today's culture too. Is like, if you speak up, you're going to be canceled too. It's like they don't allow people, I guess not that they don't allow it, it's like they look down upon you just because of certain opinions. And it could include these sorts of opinions, you know, like, oh, like, you're for guns, you know, I want guns to be, you know, to protect myself. But I mean, if my kid gets a hold of it, I mean, it's going to be locked up. They can't get a hold of it. It's like that'll also broaden the issue.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news to people, and this might be a different topic, but there's always going to be guns in this world.
Right.
People can push for strict laws and gun control and all this stuff, but
drugs are illegal.
It's fucking,
they're still drugs.
It's 2020. If somebody wants to get their hands on a gun, they're going to get their hands on a gun.
But that's not even, I don't even think they should look at it that way. If somebody wants to kill somebody, they're going to kill somebody.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah. I mean, if it's not with a gun, it's going to be with a van driving people. Or
now we got to ban vehicles.
Yeah. Right. I mean, where does it end? I think people just need to look at it this way. This world is so screwed up that you need to stop trying to figure out solutions for control over certain things, and just look at ways to protect yourself.
Right. And it's like, I'm not a gun person myself. I'm more of a blade person. But to say like guns are bad or blades are bad or something like that, it's like, those are the tools. It's what the person does with it is what's, you know, the intention behind it, right. the mover.
And it's all about noticing signs and talking to somebody. And, you know, I bet you a lot of things could have been solved if people would have went with their gut instincts about somebody.
Right.
Like I get with that James Holmes guy, and I always want to say John Holmes, the porn star, but it's James Holmes.
Not the guy.
Like, there had to have been people that noticed something different with the guy. Like, when he dyed his hair orange, that should have been like a key right there. Like, this guy doesn't normally strike me as the type of guy that would dye his hair orange.
What do you got against people with dyed hair?
But if you did it, I would think.
Yeah, we would all make fun of you regardless.
Yeah. idiot.
The guy was,
but
fuck you.
but like this guy, like he was smart. I forget what he was going to school for, but I mean, he was like a scientist or something like that. And it's like scientists don't normally dye their hair those colors and stuff like that. So I just think that the biggest issue is don't place the blame on a thing such as a video game.
Right.
Fucking talk to people. And, I there's so many people on Facebook these days that are so, I think a lot of people do it for attention, but there's a lot of people that make posts about like how they're giving up on this world. And it's like, if I don't know the person, I will still send them a private message and be like, hey, if you need to talk, you don't know me, I don't know you, but sometimes that might help. And you might, it's
kind of hit or miss too, because some people, it's not going to ruin a relationship. So they would, or if they do know you, it's like,
yeah.
I know a few people who were dead set on like suicide. I don't know if they wanted to take anybody else out with them, but it's like, it's hard to change somebody's mind when their mind is set on it, to show them the light when all they want to see is the dark. It's like, come on, man. Like,
and like I said, I think a lot of people do that for attention, but you can't just assume that, because then if they
finally
do something, you're going to be like,
you motherfucker,
shit.
I didn't think you. No.
Now, Lonnie, you pulled up the senior class picture of the Columbine shooters, and I'm assuming you have a point to make here with this.
Well, yeah, and we were talking about that there was seeing the stuff with the Columbine shooting, and I brought up their senior class photo is where they're all making they're all insinuating rifle shots towards the camera, and the school has been seen right there. Like, why was this not addressed?
Yeah, I did this. I did a Jeff Hardy thing in my senior class picture, and they blotted that out.
They blotted my face out. Yeah, I know, but again, that goes to the fact that how many school shootings happened before this?
I don't think many.
I mean, that wasn't the thing. Something like this happens nowadays. I think something like this would be addressed. Like, those kids would be expelled. There probably wouldn't be enough done to them to prevent them from coming back and shooting the school up. But
I don't think they would be expelled. I think right now it would be a non-issue, because this would be seen as like freedom of speech.
Right.
Sadly, yeah.
It's like they are free to say that, but within those walls, I mean, like you're able to censor,
Right.
But that's the thing is, like, with all the crap going on in this world, the principals and stuff at schools don't have the final say anymore, because they're going to be overruled by this person because of what they're doing is racist or whatever it is. And I mean,
being an adult to trying to control children, I mean, their minds are still pliable. Mm-hmm. They're still working things out. It's like you can guide them for so long, but things need to happen at home too. And I believe, the same thing. Like, if you're a parent, you need to sit down with them. You need to understand them. Letting them have that freedom is good, but make sure that they know how far their leash goes. They need to understand consequences and all that necessary stuff.
I 100% agree with that. So,
why do you think people gravitate towards violent video games?
I think some of it might be just for that release, that they have those urges and thoughts in their head, and they know they can never act on those urges, and maybe it's just their release.
Right.
Maybe they have that boss they really want to shoot, then maybe they have that thought in their head, and most people can suppress those urges and thoughts, and maybe it is their only outlet.
I agree with that. I was going to say, I think like Halloween time, you get to dress up. You dress up for Halloween to be something that you're not normally.
Right. It's a novelty, for the most part.
So none of us are going to go out and shoot anybody up, but it's just like, I'll admit when back in 2002, like I got a PlayStation 2. That was the last video game system that I got. And I got it strictly, my sisters, I should say, got it for me for a graduation present.
Who the hell
Press that one more time, motherfucker, and see what happens.
Why are you so violent?
But I played Grand Theft Auto because it was different. It was unique. It's like, oh, I get to steal cars and I get to run people over and run from the cops. I'm not going to do that in real life. I have a simulator that's going to do it for me. And, so that's why I think most people gravitate towards it. And it might contradict some of the things I said, but I don't really think that many people are inspired by video games to really go out and kill people.
Well, I mean, it's not the inspiration to go out; it's the release of the endorphins. Like, oh man, fucking Jim in Cubicle 6. Ugh, I hate that motherfucker. I'm gonna go play Call of Duty, and every single guy who pops up, I'm gonna put fucking Jim's face on it.
Right. Instead of
calm down, Lonnie.
To work and then
fucking Jim.
See Jim at the little water coffee, and fire away and.
Have you seen my stapler?
Gone.
Now, speaking of Call of Duty, though, interesting fact about Call of Duty: Call of Duty San Andreas was the only only console game on PlayStation and Xbox that ever got the adult-only rating.
Call of Duty San
Andreas. Or not Call of Duty.
I was like, wait.
Grand Theft Auto?
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
I'm like, I don't remember that one.
I was like,
super secret.
I've never played
going against
Call of
Grove Street.
It's where you run down San Andreas. But Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, on its release, was the only console game to ever get the adults-only rating. Was San Andreas, yeah.
Running a squad on Loke Dog.
I would have thought that Halo Vice City would have been...
Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, no, I mean, so violence pretty much stems from aggression. And I'm assuming most of us use video games or certain entertainment outlets to release that aggression.
It's porn for me. And I just beat
do what
my dick.
It's a release. It's like, if I can't see my release, then it's not happening.
The other hand forced to catch it. I beat the shit out of it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I mean... Yeah, so violence stems from aggression, but not all violence, or not all aggression is violent. People they learn how to tolerate things or process things, and that's what like these kids here. It's like, I don't know if they just couldn't take it anymore, if they just had a mission, they wanted their 10 seconds of fame. Is it 10 seconds?
Well, that's the thing you got to look into as well too. Like a lot of these school shootings, what people don't take into account. And I think it was Degrassi. It was the show.
Right.
Degrassi Junior High.
Well, that's it. It was when Drake got killed. That's all I know.
That was a good one.
Yeah. You can't be any more white power with a shaved head, and now you're happy Drake's getting killed. I was joking, by the way. Don't delete that part. But anyway, like these kids, and this is coming from me too, because I was that kid who got his ass beat constantly up till my junior year. We don't know what these kids are going through. Like, they could be getting made fun of constantly. And now with the internet, fuck, dude. They can get picked on and beat up 24 hours a day like when we were kids. And like you said, we've only met 5 or 6 times. I have no idea how old you are.
Old enough.
I could tell.
Party.
Well, so me and Jeremy's and me are the same age, and so there was a time when our torment stopped. Like, we got out of school at 3, we got off the school bus, like, we had a reprieve. Like, if they didn't know our phone number or where we lived, like, we were away from the bullies. Like, so we had some free time. But now these kids with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, they can get picked on all fucking day.
Yeah, in real life and online.
Right.
Like, they can communicate to their other bullies and stuff like that.
Right. They get no reprieve. And that's, I think, could be what a lot of these school shootings come from, is like they just get so picked on. And like that's why the suicide rate's up. That's why the school shooting rate's up. That's why, like we had it lucky.
Right.
We had a release. We had Mom's shoulder to cry on and no one to.
But you go back to the Columbine here, that's basically at the time that you're talking about with us. So it's like there was still something going on with these guys. Like that release apparently wasn't enough for them. They still had some issues with people, and I mean
they like Nickelback, I bet.
Well, Speaking of, man, Like when I was in high school, I was huge into The Crow, and I had a trench coat, and they were like, "Trench coat mafia." I'm like, nah, you guys are missing the whole point.
Even the Crow guy didn't like himself.
That's messed up. No, have you guys played the Columbine game?
No, I would never play that. That just seems a little
Columbine?
wrong to me.
Yeah.
Columbine game?
It's kind of like a old school Final Fantasy, you know.
I'm assuming you've played it.
We'll say no.
Is it like hide and go seek?
Nah.
Where you really don't want to be found?
I mean, I think that's kind of a messed up game to if it's about shooting up a school. I think whoever made that should, I hate to sound like a Karen here, but they should be behind bars.
Right.
I mean,
I would say that, personally, I think they're allowed to make it. Is it good? No.
I thought you didn't play it.
Oh, I didn't say the game itself, the gameplay wasn't good. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying I don't really care for like those old school Final Fantasy style.
Fuck you!
Collector. It's just, nowadays
Video
you have
games
to wait.
Don't make anybody violent. Go
passive-
fuck yourself!
You take it back or I'll kill you.
Wanna
But yeah.
die?
So I was also noticing a few studies that link violence and sex. Like we get that same, like we were saying, dopamine fix. There's no sex in my violence, but
there's no hope with dope.
I mean, I don't get violent after sex, but my wife sure does.
You got to do it again.
It's mostly disappointment, but there is some violence in there.
I usually go to bed after I masturbate
Oh, good for you.
because I don't have sex.
Yeah. So there's a list of top violent video games that I wanted to go over here. So I'm assuming most of you guys have heard of most of these. So there's Postal, which was actually banned from America. Hatred came out, and that was like pretty much
Insta ban, yeah.
Mortal Kombat, pretty violent, graphic. Manhunt, I really liked Manhunt. I do have a story I want to tell about that one. Grand Theft Auto, everybody knows. What do you do after you get with the hooker?
You run her over with the car?
And take your money back. Exactly. That's what you're supposed to do. But yeah, Carmageddon, Gears of War, Dead Space, Doom, Harvester, Phantasmagoria, the Darkness series. The list goes on. There's always going to be violence.
Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Farming simulator.
Yeah. So Manhunt was like you play as the serial killer. You pretty much break out of jail, and there was this part where you go into like this bar, like this BDSM, like kind of like a factory type of thing.
Is this before or after you play the game?
During. So I'm going through this and like I'm all into it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get found. And like you can't see behind you. You're only seeing like from like your body, and yeah. So I'm hiding behind this door, and I see like this guy in there with like a meat cleaver, and he's like the head dude that you're trying to take down. And then like one of his little gimps come up behind me and take me out, and like I was doing so good at getting a perfect score, but then he goes, pull down his pants, I want to see it. And I'm like, okay, I can't be mad at that.
Didn't you play that for me or something? I think you pulled something up.
I might have.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. So what would you consider the most violent video game of your choice?
I mean, since I don't play video games, and I didn't know many of the games that you had on your list. I mean, Mortal Kombat straight up fighting, and I mean, after you defeat your opponent, you can do whatever, like rip their freaking spine out of their back or whatnot. But I mean, I would say that's a pretty violent game. Or I mean, Grand Theft Auto, like your whole point of Grand Theft Auto is to kill people, run from the cops, get involved in drugs smuggling and all that stuff. So I'd say GTA and Mortal Kombat are pretty violent. But again, my opinion doesn't mean shit because I haven't played many video games at all.
I feel, and it might be a different opinion than most, but the most violent video game is not one that I mentioned. I'll continue.
Let me guess. You're about to give a punchline here, aren't you? There's going to be a joke. What you're about to say? You're going to say
No,
something
this
like,
is for real.
You're going to say something like The Simpsons or
No.
Okay.
No. So the most violent video game, this mind-numbing and addictive simulation of destruction over and over and over again. The object of this game is to pretty much decimate all in your wake until there is nothing left. While anthropomorphic characters smile and laugh at the path of your carnage you leave, once you get a taste, you become rabid. You will perpetually go on guiltless rampage endlessly.
Are you going to say Pac-Man?
No, this is Candy Crush.
What did I tell you?
Candy Crush is an extremely violent video game, and so many people are addicted to it. Like, the items are selective to whatever the motifs of the player. For example, they can indicate, like, race in their color, or political parties, nations, you name it. Like, so the point is to immediately eliminate and disband a growing enemy. If those who gather in parties of 3 or more, they are targeted to be cut down. You can even use bombs and weapons fashioned from your enemies to kill them. Like, there's these suckers that just, you can smack them and they just crack. It's violent. It's like when you cut down a tree and then make a tree house and then put it up in a tree, it's like hanging the corpse of another tree into it. It's fucking violent. It's ridiculous.
You're about to get an almond thrown at you.
No, like, hear me out. It's like, okay, so the point is pretty much to murder every last one until you move to the next level, nation or town, or whatever you want to call it. Your Call of Duties give you this object, such as being held captive as like as a POW situation, like where you try to escape. Yes, you can kill people, but it's pretty much for survival purposes. But it's to be able to inform like your chain of command of a nation or world threat in order to protect the lives of so many innocent lives. Candy Crush sees everything as a threat, and you must spread your tyranny regardless. Like, it's just kill, kill, kill until your screen is cleared. Games like Siphon Filter, Splinter Cell, even Manhunt, where you are the killer, you must pick up items and weapons off the ground in parks, malls, or playgrounds. Hell, if anything, that's contributing to community service. You're cleaning up so other kids cannot reach it. Like, again, there is an objective to these other games, whereas Candy Crush is just destroy everything in front of you. Once you, like Mortal Kombat, once you face your opponent, that's it. You win, With Candy Crush, there is no winning. You just keep on going. These other games, like I said, they give you the option to kill others, even innocents, Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row, Tenchu, but you are ranked by your actions. You're often challenged nowadays to finish levels with 0 kills. You get a higher ranking that way. Performing inhumane actions lowers your ranking, whereas Candy Crush increases your score by the total screen elimination. So, why are you smiling? This is serious. So many people are addicted to this.
No comment.
That's all you got? Am I right? Come on.
I'm waiting for Lonnie here. He looks like he has something to say.
Blank faced here.
Doom was the first video game to ever get a mature rating.
That might be so. But hey,
watch
your kids. If your kids are playing Candy Crush, I'm telling you.
I'm the worst for this topic, video games, because I never play them. If you want to talk about Roller Coaster Tycoon, I'm your man for
Shit's
that.
On. What the fuck?
I couldn't tell if that was real or not.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what that was.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
Oh,
Well, that was a fun topic.
that was a fun topic. That was a fun episode.
That was fun, yeah.
Was it?
I
I
liked
feel
it.
like you guys aren't taking it seriously.
We were so serious, and then you took it.
We're trying to change the world. You guys don't understand.
We are the world. We are the
Yeah.
shitlands.
Well, we're going over 2-hour mark here.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got any damn it. Any last words?
No.
No, that was good stuff tonight. I felt like we're still trying things out. We're gonna test some things. We need your feedback to know what you liked, what you didn't like. I think, Lonnie,
Next one's mine.
it is. You're in control of the next one.
You got some big plans?
Oh, it's gonna be so dark.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna cover model trains, fucking small villages, precious moment dolls. It's gonna be anarchy.
I'm giving you the same look I was just giving Justin.
That sounds neat. I can't wait.
I'm not going to be here for that episode. No,
All right.
No, it'll just be me talking.
All right, well, let you run with it.
All right.
Well, tune in 2 weeks from now, or whenever you guys want to. What day is that?
2 weeks from now.
That is correct.
You are the worst at suspension of disbelief.
Oh, well, I'm just agreeable. I'm good like that. I'm a nice boy.
Not what your father-in-law says.
Oh.
Got
Thank
it.
you guys.
Full circle.
Like, subscribe.
Help us hit 500 by July.
All that too.
If you're single and good-looking, be sure to give me a shout-out.
You've probably turned Jeremy down in the past.
100% true.
Yeah. You guys take it easy. Have a good night, or day, or week, or month. Send us out.
Wash your hands because you're fucking nasty.
I love you.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Join us next time for more absurdity that only the guys from the Boundless PodTrap can bring you.